Today I kind of pulled an all-nighter that I think may have started somewhere in the early morning in a sort of way. I didn't really feel tired until about somewhere between 4:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. And by which point I had had lunch at around 2 p.m., which consisted of a slice of pumpkin pie and some Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Mom made me some coffee somewhere between 11 in the morning and noon. And I think it was pretty close to noon. I believe I began building these forest fabrications and paving these. I think they're forest glade or forest stream roads to connect these buildings. I believe I did that around the first hours of today. I also started participating in the last tournament without really realizing it was already close to being over. That time clock is kind of tucked away in the top left corner. My first impression of this was coffee cake or something like that. And before that, my first thought was muffin, but muffin seems to be pretty accurate to me at this point. I walked to Wegmans today. Somewhere between 3 to 4 p.m. And the initial black plastic garbage bag in the garage seemed heavy enough that it would be a daunting challenge for the kind of weather I faced. Wearing the same flannel jacket I wore yesterday. I wore the rainbow Crocs again, but this time I included rainbow tie-dye shoes with it, except it's a pastel rainbow tie-dye, lighter than the usual rainbow tie-dye. And the heels are black. I put on a moderately heavy t-shirt. Long athletic pants with zippable pockets. And a beanie hat to protect my ears. I brought a mask for the pharmacy area. Since Mom had me pick up my sister's prescription at the pharmacy at Wegmans. I did this after returning all the container deposits, which came to $2.45. The prescription itself ended up being $8.75. But I ended up bringing roughly 20 $1 bills because Mom initially thought it was going to be $10, and even then we weren't sure exactly how much it would be. And plus sales tax, so a lot of those $1 bills were mine. From previous bottle return trips. I had the money in the left pocket and in the right pocket, my mask and one of the gloves I brought. It's important to bring your phone. In case of an emergency. But I tend to primarily use it for playing music through YouTube on the browser Google Chrome. the Getting Stronger Rocky Balboa song. Has a tendency to make you feel motivated. I played that one when I was nearing Wegmans and when I was nearing home on the way back. I played the Gran Turismo 4, an old Bassman song. Which has a tendency to always put you at ease. Like everything's gonna be okay. I spent much of the morning hours and my morning to noon hours reading The Accidental Tower off of the Giantess City forums. It's currently around 11:07 p.m. Today, part of what motivated the trip to Wegmans was I figured it would be a good way the exercise would help to keep me awake. Since I had a sort of plan of staying up until 11 to try and fix my sleep schedule. The monitor's production cost roughly 1,000 mana. However, I ended up feeling pretty tired by around 5 p.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So around that time, I ended up falling asleep for at least half an hour. I intentionally turned artificial light on in the hopes it would mimic sunlight and help to keep me awake, and I also set an alarm for I think 5:30 p.m. to try and help ensure that I wouldn't oversleep and miss Dad picking me up to stay at his place for some days today. I think those measures helped enable me to be awake when Dad went to pick me up around 6 p.m. It was around 6:30 p.m. and I decided to take a long nap, kind of to go to bed in a sort of sense. When you sleep longer than 30 to 90 minutes, and when that's your intention, it's considered going to bed. I ended up waking up around 8:30 p.m. And since that time, I've caught myself up on all the chapters currently available of The Accidental Tower. With such a slow rate, I feel this giantess will be kept squarely within the first category of size, roughly speaking. But I do prefer a longer, more detailed, and slow-paced story to short and quick-paced ones, but not too much detail, not too slow of a pace. I also listened to the Dorby's theme song and Everything's Coming Up Spring by, I think it's Pink Saturday Cartoon, I think the name is. No, it's Pink Morning Cartoon. There's some nice and obscure music pieces or songs out there that are available on YouTube. Though, in regards for Everything's Coming Up Spring, for the audio speed corrected version, you have to find that one on SoundCloud. But I was able to get the link easily enough. Through the description of a YouTube video. I believe early on today, I also saved the video Neutral Response, which is a 4-second Futurama clip in which people intentionally dislike the video, so the video would have roughly the same amount of dislikes as likes, in order to make it a truly neutral response. I also did some work on the 99 Dan Hamming. Early today, it was fixing some kind of inconsistency between the who knows what raw video file, the one titled WED, and the new one titled WED 2. That I created. In order to create a proper ending for the episode. In my mind. It's roughly 2 seconds long. The new WED video, raw video file. Though I did end up having to make a custom prop involving the curtained windows. Which was a process that ended up involving several color corrections. Since at some point when you make a custom prop in Lunapic messes the colors up a bit. So I know I usually have to make some kind of color correction, but it can be hard to tell when I have to add or remove blue, red, green, and by how much, whether that's by 5 or by 10. So it took me multiple attempts to get it just right. And then it took me a few attempts to actually position the custom prop in a way to eliminate that inconsistency and then to cover up the original curtained windows in the background. For the scene window, I had to use a rectangle prop and use the eyedropper to color it exactly the same as the wall in that scene. And right now I'm trying to see what other fixes I could potentially make at this time.